What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into Avengers X-Men Eternals, the Judgment Day tie-in of Avengers issue number 1 one-shot. This will be the judgment of Tony Stark. Most recently, we saw the Progenitor carry out his threat. After 24 hours, after seeing all that it needed to see, it is now set on destroying the Earth. A small team of Avengers, X-Men, and Eternals. They have gone inside of the Progenitor in an attempt to activate its self-destruct mechanism. Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, we are picking up inside the Progenitor, having our team made up of Iron Man, Jean Grey, Wolverine, Mr. Sinister, Ajax, Cersei, and Makari. As they make their way through, Tony Stark, he has a little bit of dialogue going on talking about how he feels outnumbered, how there are mutants here, there are Eternals here, but he's really the only Avenger. Now, while others have been an Avenger at one point in time, he is currently the only one here that is on the roster. Mr. Sinister making a joke about how Thor is now dead. Can he rummage through all of the cloak closet to find himself a new cloak? Tony Stark absolutely losing it, saying that it killed Thor, it killed Captain Marvel, and right now Captain America is out there trying to hold the world together. He is not gonna deal with Mr. Sinister's little jokes. This is when our Eternals let them know that there is a problem. The Progenitor is newly flushed with all of its powers. It is simply too heavy for reality. As she tries to find her path throughout this Progenitor, she says that this is a pilgrimage, and it will be a bloody one. Jean Grey letting them know that the psychic heaviness, it is pressing down on all of them. If Jean Grey were not here, it would crush them in an instant. And for those wondering why Wolverine was resurrected, he is about to have his use. Because the celestial antibodies come pouring out of every way. They are designed specifically to take out people like this team that try to get inside of the celestial and take them down. And while Sinister goes in to try to do what he does, he quickly learns that his time with the celestial is not the same as this time, screaming at Logan, telling him to stab them with his claws. While the fight breaks out, we see Jean Grey and Iron Man have a little bit of a flirtatious moment here. Now really, Jean Grey is just making fun of Tony Stark, but Tony flirting with her lets her know that if you keep being mean to me, just know that I have a thing for women who are mean and are redheads. Being able to find a getaway, they all pour into this little hide hole. Iron Man being the very last, we see some kind of green discs start surrounding him, wrapping him up like he is inside of a cocoon, as the Eternals and the X-Men try to break him free. This is when Tony Stark's judgment begins. And we see Jensen, the first person to ever die for the Iron Man suit. The Progenitor asking, was this worth it? Because you keep on making these suits and people keep dying. Look where you are today. One final suit, a giant god armor, one that you are currently inside of, and now it is going to kill the entire planet. Tony Stark letting the Progenitor know that he's being a little bit dramatic. Now, he does accept that this is partially his fault, but the day is not over yet. He refuses to let Captain America down. The Progenitor, more than anything, is trying to break him down, showing Captain America dead, saying that this could be him right now and you wouldn't know it, that you may have well killed him yourself. And then we see War Machine, the Progenitor, trying to make him feel as much guilt as he can possibly feel, snapping War Machine's head like it was nothing. He was the Iron God, seen in Iron Man issue number 17, even going as far as saying you gave up being the Iron God. You had the opportunity. If you had held out for a couple more weeks, you could have stopped this entire event from happening. You chose to give up the Iron God, but even Tony Stark has to admit that it was too much for him, that it was too much for anybody. body. And it's really fun because throughout this entire vision, we are seeing multiple members of the Avengers, from Thor to Hulk to Captain America. And Tony lets the progenitor know that he gets it. Who is the strongest one? He knows that it is not him. It has never been Tony Stark. And this is when the progenitor, he digs even deeper into the mind of Tony Stark, picking up in the car his parents had died in. The night of, we see the car crash. It bursts into flames. Though he doesn't want to be here, the progenitor says, "Yet we are here." Tony never fully understood how his parents had died, wanting to believe that it was an assassination. Some people had claimed it was, or that their deaths were fate, but it was nothing more than a car crash. That people die for no reason at all, letting Tony know that there was a reason. They died because a machine failed them. If only they had a better machine, a machine that would have protected them from all of this hell. That machines, they can make you more powerful, but when the machine is not good enough, it takes away from the people you love. The progenitor is the ultimate machine, taking away everything anyone has ever loved. He is a car crash on a planetary scale. The question is, what now? This is when Tony recognizes that he has work to do, believing that maybe there is a chance that he can fix the progenitor, that he can make the machine better so it doesn't become a car crash that kills the entire planet. This is when Tony's father comes up to him, letting him know that people die, that he was a terrible father, that he wanted a child so badly, him and his mother. The problem is, when he had that child, he did not spend enough time with his son, letting him know that he has been too hard on himself, that he passes judgment, and he couldn't be prouder of him. This is when Tony Stark is able to break out of whatever cocoon the progenitor had put him inside of. Everyone trying to figure out what is wrong with him, because Tony Stark is in absolute tears right now, but in the best of ways. His father told him everything that he could have ever hoped to hear his father say. But moreover, Tony Stark understands something that they haven't got the grasp of yet. The progenitor was testing him. If it is still testing him, it is still testing humanity. And if it is still testing them, then there is a chance that they could pass. There is a chance that they could save everyone. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. For me personally, I have thoroughly been enjoying these deep dives into individual characters and their judgment. We have the judgment of Peter Parker that is the next issue we're covering today. And that one is easily, hands down, the best thing Wells has written in his entire run of Spider-Man. I really enjoyed this about Tony Stark because at the end of the day, he relies heavily on machines, be it his own suit or creating a celestial to defend them. And that if that suit, if that god, if it had been tweaked just a little bit mechanically, could there be a different outcome? Could this celestial be the protector of Earth? And speaking of celestials, I am very curious on what the other celestials think about what is going on. Do they even notice what is going on? How long before they do notice? And will they interfere? Will they have something to say about this Frankenstein god that the X-Men and the Eternals and everyone created? Will they see it as an abomination? Could the other celestials be the saving grace of Earth? Or would they accept it as one of their own? While I have very much loved every single issue of this event so far, and that is saying a lot because it is not usually like that for me. I do not usually like every single issue, but all of these have been knocking it out of the park. Even the not so action-packed or fantastic ones, they have still had some real good depth to them. And I think it's because each issue that is the in-between, the tie-in, so on and so forth, we're doing a deep dive into a singular character. From Sebastian Shaw to freaking Tony Stark. We get to see where these characters have been, where these characters are, and where they might be going. They have come such a long way over all of these years. It's crazy to think that some of these characters have been around for damn near a century. and they still hold so much potential. They can still be written in absolutely tremendous and fantastical ways. And you are definitely not gonna wanna miss the next issue, part 20 of the tie-ins. It's crazy to say we are in 20 issues deep into this freaking event. And we get a little bit of Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man Judgment Day tie-in. But let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get caught up on everything happening with Judgment Day, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything happening with this epic event. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having 5 different tiers from $1 to $50. From loyalty badges to getting free comics every single month. Not only do you get tons of perks, but you're helping out the channel in tremendous ways. Now, if you cannot do that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.